Hello, this is Radio Filipino Live, together with Larry and our special guest for tonight, uh, John Pardo. Larry, would you like to introduce John Pardo?
Hello, good evening, everybody. Radio Filipino fans and listeners. We'll have a great night tonight, and we have a very special guest with us tonight. I'd like to introduce him. He is Bjorn Pardo. Bjorn, as in Bjorn Borg of Sweden. Sorry about that. He is the CEO of Nova Health Technologies, a company based in Green Hills, San Juan, in the Philippines. And he is here with us tonight to tell us something about his product, about providing healthcare to our countrymen back in the Philippines. Okay, this is a very essential product for our countrymen, and they really need this product. And we are here tonight to listen to him on how we can be able to work with him in providing this healthcare to our kababayans or countrymen back home or our loved ones back home. Okay? Without further ado, I give the floor to Bjorn Pardo.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Tony, for having me. I'm very excited to be here and to share Nova Health to everyone. Um, so just to give everyone a little bit of a background of myself and Nova Health. Um, uh, Nova Health is a digital healthcare company that offers all-in-one and comprehensive healthcare plans that is specifically built for the Filipino and particularly the Filipino family. As all of you listeners know, the Filipino family is quite different from the normal family. The Filipino family, spans geographic borders. There's Filipinos all over the world, not just in the U.S. but Asia, Europe, wherever. Um, and we all kind of still continue to share this very close family bond despite these geographic borders. And I think that's something that makes the Filipino family very different. And something that we've been doing is really trying to custom build a product that takes all of this into consideration. And when you think about what makes the Filipino family different, what are the problems in the Philippines, you start to think of healthcare very differently. And I'll share a little bit more about what I mean a little later, and happy to answer any questions at any time. I'll be keeping my eye on the on the uh, on the chat. Um, but just to give a really brief history, and maybe I'll turn it over to Tony or Larry to maybe ask some questions. But Nova Health was actually born from a former company that I was leading called Assistancy. Um, and Assistancy is a global health insurance company that had operations in 7 countries across the world, particularly in Latin America. And they were doing very well. The only challenge that we had was that the Philippines was the only country in Asia that was operating. So we were unable to really benefit from the learnings from Latin America, which is a different market. We had a very big time difference, and so we were really unable to maximize the opportunity here in the Philippines because of that distance and difference in culture between Latin America and the Philippines. So last year, my wife and I acquired the Philippine business of assistancy, and we wanted to really maximize the opportunity and make sure that we build something that is really specifically built for the Filipino. And so late last year or early last year, my wife and I acquired the Assistancy Philippines. We rebranded and we improved the product. Um, and we have a product that is much more Filipino centric and Filipino family centric. Um, but I guess I'll pause here. I don't want to kind of ramble too much, but I can definitely explain all of the details of what we offer, as we go through the interview.
Okay. Um, I saw some videos on YouTube,
Hmm.
and your product really is needed by the Filipino people, especially those people are left behind there, and most of the OFW, all they have the money to pay for insurance, but people in the Philippines, um, as mentioned in the video, they are able to acquire a lot of debts in order just to go by in um, getting good doctors, good hospitals to treat their diseases. So it was also mentioned that there's a line, there's a you can call um, on your website. I think you can call on somebody, and that person who would answer the call is a doctor.
Hmm.
Is that correct, John?
That's correct. And you brought up a really good point, and it's not really well known that I mean, I think it is very well known that healthcare in the Philippines needs to be improved, but I think that it's not common knowledge, the extent of how big the problem really is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the World Health Organization has described the Philippine healthcare system as very fragmented. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
The vast majority of Filipinos are underinsured and uninsured,
Mm-hmm.
which leads to over half of all healthcare expenses being paid out of pocket,
Right.
which leads to what you mentioned, debt. It leads to over 1 million families crossing the poverty line every year. So these are things that we take into consideration. And you know, you mentioned being able to access a doctor through the phone and through the internet. And that's one of our key differences in how we try to help deliver a better healthcare experience and in effect help keep Filipinos healthy, um, and keep people from going into debt because of concerns, or health concerns that may not be necessarily serious in the beginning, but become serious over time because they're unable to get proper advice in time, and which leads to very bad consequences. So we kept we kept this in mind, and when we designed the product, I think the pandemic, everyone experienced the pandemic, and the pandemic actually brought some positive effects for the healthcare industry in that it forced people to use digital technology much more,
That's right.
and especially in the Philippines, where the Philippines is maybe a lagging behind in some digital aspects. And so in the pandemic, during the pandemic, it taught many Filipinos to embrace digital. So now it's very common for people to pay online, use Gcash, and do everything that they that do anything that they want online, including gaining access to doctors. So we do have, as you mentioned, a hotline that anyone can call 24/7. We do also do have a mobile app where if you need to be seen on video, if you need to show the doctor anything that you're experiencing through video, that's also available. Um, and something that makes us very different from other telemedicine and telehealth providers is that you're connected to a doctor in less than 20 seconds, 95% of the time. So it's something that we take very seriously, um, because, you know, if you have to wait an hour just to talk to a doctor on the phone, man, sometimes that could be too late, and it's very inconvenient. So um, we try to do everything that we can to deliver a better healthcare experience utilizing the digital technologies that are available to people today and what people are used to already today. So, yeah.
Okay. So, I'm I'm really very curious about the concept.
Hmm.
So you must have a lot of doctors um, on your employ in order to keep up with the needs of the people in terms of servicing them. And would would they also speak our um, native tongue? Supposing some people, especially on the Visayas or Mindanao, would you have some doctors who can speak the dialect of different provinces?
So not quite yet. We are getting there. I can tell you that our doctors can definitely speak Filipino and English
Mm-hmm.
in whichever the person prefers. In terms of the different dialects, we will eventually get there. We're starting to increase our presence in Visayas and Mindanao this year. So we will get there, but we're not quite there yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I like the aspect when I watch the video.
Hmm.
There are two aspects of your company. One is the healthcare side, and the other one is um, getting the opportunity to also
Hmm.
earn money by referring patients to you, referring people who would be interested to become affiliates. So, would you like to touch on those um, on that side, on the affiliate side?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think um, another opportunity that we saw um, in the Philippines is the uh, giving people the ability to earn money in their own free time and to utilize and maximize the network of people that they have access to. Um, so we did, from the very beginning, we focused on, as you mentioned, our affiliate program, which gives any individual the ability to refer their friends, their family, businesses, even to us. And for every successful um, plan that's purchased, the individual does get a very fair and actually really great referral fee, which ranges between 15 and 20+% depending on your level. So it's very easy to join. You do have to go through some short virtual trainings just so you understand the product and we're comfortable that you know the product well enough to sell it well. um, and so you can do all of this online from anywhere in the world. We do have affiliates in other countries that are selling to um, and offering our product to Filipinos in many countries all over the world. And in fact, that up to right now we have um, sold health plans in 28 different countries across the world. So that tells you, you know, it's just scratches the surface in terms of where our OFWs and other Filipinos abroad are located. So they're all over the world, and you can do this from anywhere in the world.
Mm. Yeah. Larry, would you like to
Yes,
ask?
my estimate is there's around 20 million global Filipinos, both immigrants and OFWs, and they can very well afford to provide health insurance to their families back home. But I'd like to get back to your earlier statement that you already acquired the business from assistancy.
Hmm.
So that's correct. You already own the business. That's why you changed the name. Uh,
Yes, we did change the name. I think the name before Assistancy was, it was it resonated much better with the Latin American market, but in the
Mm.
Philippines,
yeah.
not so much. So we wanted to change it to something that would resonate better with the Filipino. Yeah,
Yes. That's what I thought. That people will keep on asking, "What's that assistancy?"
yeah,
So it's better if it's an English word, no more questions. But
yeah,
I also notice whenever I search for your company name, there's a another company in Thailand with the same name and product or business. Exactly the same, Nova Health Technology. So I always go to their site, not not to the site in the Philippines. Are you aware of that?
yeah. I think it's something I think as we grow, we will overtake the company in Thailand, and there will no longer be any confusion. But yeah, we will get there, and we'll get there very soon.
Imagine that. Exactly the same name and product. So,
Okay.
maybe I'll ask some questions later. You have some more, Tony?
Yeah. I was also watching again. I will refer back to the video, and it says there that this is very affordable,
Hmm.
and people who are working overseas can apply for the insurance, for the health insurance, and make their relatives or
Families.
parents beneficiaries of that insurance policy. So, how does it work?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I may answer it in a long-winded way, but I think it's important. Um, I we affordability definitely is something that you know we took seriously when designing the product. um, and before I get into the actual affordability, I wanted to mention uh, that kind of related to affordability is something that what another thing that makes us very different from traditional healthcare companies that many of you are used to, right? I think that when you think of healthcare and you think of healthcare companies, normally you would you would um, think of them as helping you when you're already in need, or helping you when you're already in the hospital. And there's many healthcare companies that do a great job at that, and we also will do that. We will also help you when you are in the hospital, and your hospitalization will be covered. But at the same time, something that we're doing differently is we're trying to keep people out of the hospital. We're trying to keep people healthy so they don't have to go step foot in the hospital. So this is where the telemedicine comes into play. As I discussed earlier, where you can get in touch with a doctor in 20 seconds, um, and you can ask the doctor anything you want. You can ask them, what type of medicine should I take? You can ask them, You can explain to them, the medical concern that you're experiencing at the moment, and they can give you advice. And a lot of times we're able to resolve. Actually, 60% of all of our cases are actually resolved at that telemedicine level.
Mhm.
And the other thing that we do to keep you out of the hospital is we do provide medicines, outpatient medicines for
Mhm.
free, for the most common illnesses. So think of, if you have a fever, a cold, you need antibiotics. These are things that are covered um, even before you have to set foot in the hospital. So this is something that can heal you before it becomes worse and you have to go to the hospital. So this is a benefit that I believe that we're the only company offering this. So and I know that sounds a little off topic, but um, you know, these things that we're offering are actually um, keep our product very affordable, because the most expensive channel and the thing that makes healthcare expensive is when you go to the hospital. So
Yes.
that's why when you think of like healthcare plans, it's very expensive, because the healthcare company is thinking how they have to pay for the hospitalization. Wherein we're trying to keep you more. We're focused more on keeping you healthy. So that is actually much more affordable.
Right.
So our plans range from what I mentioned, telemedicine and keeping out of the hospital. We do have a plan that starts at $6 a
Mhm.
month,
Mhm.
that focuses on more common illnesses and telemedicine, but it goes all the way up to something that's more comprehensive and that can cover you when you're hospitalized, and that will start at maybe $15 to $20 a month.
Mhm.
um, and so we didn't just think about the actual dollar amount to make it affordable. We also thought, how can we make it more accessible? And so all of our plans actually are offered on a monthly basis, wherein maybe traditional healthcare companies would be, you have to pay the annual premium upfront, wherein we're trying to not just keep the dollar amount affordable, but also accessibility and giving people the option to pay monthly if they want. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's.
Okay. Um, I would like to remind our viewers that if you have any questions or if you want to ask questions, clarify things, you can post your comments and questions on the box where the comment section is. You can see. As a matter of fact, you can do it on your Facebook account if you're on Facebook or if you are on YouTube. Now, so it's more like a preventive maintenance health system. Uh, would that term be right in trying to give a short definition of what you're doing, John?
I mean, I think the preventive is definitely one aspect of the healthcare plans that we offer.
Mm-hmm.
If I was to describe it, um, I would say that we're an all-in-one healthcare plan.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from preventive and telemedicine all the way up to hospitalization and everything in between.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that everything in between actually also is something that makes us different, in that we, um, as I mentioned earlier, the World Health Organization described the Philippine healthcare system as very fragmented. And and what that means is, you're when you're being treated, you have to go to, let's say, for example, you go to the telemedicine channel to speak to a doctor, and then they prescribe you medicine, and then you have to download the prescription, go to the pharmacy, and get your medicine. That's very
Mm-hmm.
fragmented because you're dealing with two different entities, and you have to do a lot of manual work in between. So
Right.
what we're doing, just to kind of give you an example of that scenario, what happens in Nova Health is that when you consult with our doctor, And if you prescribe something through telemedicine, that medicine is delivered to your doorstep the same day,
Mm-hmm.
without having to download the prescription, go to the pharmacy. So we're making a normally fragmented system seamless. So
Mm-hmm.
we're tying everything together to make everything feel like it's one seamless service.
Oh,
Um,
that's very nice, Bjorn.
Yeah.
Imagine your meds will be delivered to your homes. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And another great example of that is, you know, and many people I'm sure have experienced this is, when the doctor says, "Oh, you need to get this lab test." You go to the laboratory, you get your blood test, whatever it may be, and then you get your results, and then you call the doctor and you tell them, or you make an appointment and you say, "Oh, here's my results. What do I do next?" Right? Very fragmented. What we do differently is, if our telemedicine doctor says, "Oh, you need these labs," um, once you get those labs at the diagnostic clinic, we have access to those lab results, wherein, um, once we get the lab results, we will proactively call our member and say, "Your lab results are in, and this is what you need to do next," versus the member having, or the person having to do all of this on their own.
Mhm.
So we're trying to um, be proactive in that way.
mhm. So I what I like in your system too is people abroad or
Hmm.
OFWs. Uh, they can pay the premiums of the policy, and one good thing about that is because you allow the recipients or the beneficiaries of the health insurance not to bother paying, and it goes directly to their health benefits,
Hmm.
because sometimes when you send money, um, you can never tell that it will be used for their for their health needs. But Filipinos are very, very, very clannish, and they can they they want to help each other. They want to, relatives, when they ask for help, they extend their help. Yeah. But
Yeah.
one good thing also about the delivery, especially in the Philippines with all the traffic that you have, oh my God, that's one big advantage of medications being delivered to their homes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, the traffic is actually getting worse.
Yeah.
And the medicine delivery definitely addresses that, and also the telemedicine, right? I mean, when you think of like a simple doctor consultation, you have to travel, you have to wait in line. A lot of times, for a very simple 5-minute consultation, you would spend 2-3 hours of your day, because you have to travel there, you have to wait in line, you have to travel back home, and it's a hassle, and you expose yourself unnecessarily to, maybe other people who are uh, very sick in the hospital. So
Mm.
the telemedicine also solves that as well. And something I wanted to mention, which I forgot to mention earlier, which you touched on, is, for all of our OFWs who are, and Filipinos abroad who are purchasing plans for their families back home. Yes, they are assured that, you know what they're paying is going to healthcare benefits, which is very useful, because I'm sure many of our listeners have experienced, having to shell out a lot of money for a medical emergency, which probably could have been prevented.
Mhm.
Um, and the other benefit, actually, for our Filipinos abroad and OFWs who are purchasing plans for their families back home, is all of our plans actually um, come with free telemedicine for the person who purchased the plan. So if I'm a Filipino abroad in Florida, for example, and I purchase a plan for my family in the Philippines, myself who is in Florida, I also have access to free 24/7 telemedicine with Filipino doctors.
Mhm.
And a lot of times, um, sometimes you want to talk to a Filipino doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who's purchasing a plan for their families back home also has free telemedicine for themselves as well.
Right.
Ah,
And sometimes they want a second opinion about
Yeah,
some of the diagnosis that they were given.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Imagine that. You can talk to a Filipino doctor if you are here in the USA. Uh, that's nice to hear. And it hasn't happened before.
Hmm.
Here we also have this telemedicine or virtual uh, conversation with the doctor, but sometimes they schedule you for a face-to-face meeting. So if that happens, you still have to wait for them, maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour waiting. And then when they see you, they only spend 2 minutes with you.
Hmm.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's still happening here, and I'm experiencing it. But
Yeah.
Bjorn has revolutionized the system.
Yeah. So, John, um, there were, you have so many affiliations with hospitals too, just in case patients or your beneficiaries need to be hospitalized. So, are you affiliated with major hospitals in the Philippines too?
Yes, yes. I mean, we tackle this in also a very unique way. You know, we partner with multiple top health insurance companies.
Mm-hmm.
So we're basically combining the networks
Mm-hmm.
of multiple healthcare companies, which give us wider coverage. And something also that we're doing differently is that in the cases where it happens sometimes where there's a non-accredited hospital, maybe in a province,
Mm-hmm.
and in cases like that, um, if one of our members is experiencing a medical emergency, and we don't want them to think about, oh, I have to research if I'm going to go to this accredited hospital or a non-accredited hospital. We want our members, not in emergency cases, we don't want them to think and to go to the nearest hospital. And in those cases, even if you go to a hospital that's where we don't have accreditation, we will still cover that 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And we will, if you are confined, we will settle the bill for you
Mm-hmm.
without you having to put any cash out. Um, so we're tackling, coverage and network in a few different ways. And I think that because of this unique way that we're tackling it, um, I would be confident to say that we have, the widest coverage of any healthcare company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Good.
those are accessible through your cell phones. Is there an app that which you can find the nearest clinic or hospital?
Yes, yes, you can view all of the accredited clinics, hospitals, doctors through our website or through the app, very easily.
And may I ask us this, Bjorn, who are those that are covered or benefiting from this? Is there an age limit or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're doing, to cater again to the Filipino family, as many of us know, um, the Filipino family does not just only span across geographic borders, but it also spans across generations, wherein many households are three generations. So we took this also into consideration in that we are um, making sure that we extend the age limit, uh, further than the normal healthcare company. So normally it would be up to 60 years old. So with our basic plans, we're going up to 70 years old. Um, but we are working hard to create plans that can go even further. So that's something that we're working on hard right now, and we hope to extend that by 10, 15 years, hopefully, um, in the first quarter of this year.
Wow, that's nice, Bjorn. I imagine you can extend that to up to 70, up to 80 or 85.
That's our plan. That's our plan, and we're that's a focus of ours for this quarter, is to make sure that we can get up to 80 or 85.
Yeah, because they are the people that needs the health, the healthcare, those age bracket.
Yeah.
Uh, would you also cover pre-existing conditions?
Yeah, so we have many different types of plans. I think that, you know with all of our plans, we do cover the most common um, non-dreaded pre-existing conditions. For example, controlled hypertension and controlled diabetes. These are conditions that we will cover. Um, but if you do have, um, you know, uh, other, maybe uncommon pre-existing conditions, it would be on a case to case,
Mm-hmm.
um, with certain pre-existing conditions. But we do cover the most common controlled uh, pre-existing conditions.
Okay. Yep. So, do you have any other questions, Larry?
Well, that's nice to hear again. Those with pre-existing conditions are can be covered because most seniors have pre-existing conditions, and
Mhm.
if some insurance company don't want to cover them, and here's Bjorn, who will be taking care of them. He has a humanitarian mission to take care of these senior people. I already have some inquiries about more than 70 years old, if they can be covered, but I'm not yet sure because I only heard from Beyond that they are planning to also provide service to these people who are 70 and above. That's really very nice to hear. Yeah. For these people to also get the medical or the health insurance, healthcare they need.
So, let me ask you a personal question. Uh, uh, in the Philippines, they will call you mestizo.
Yeah.
Uh, do you have parents that you are not is not a Filipino, or maybe one half?
Yeah, yeah. So I I I am a mix. And I think maybe sometimes the beard throws people off. So
No, sometimes it depends on the person who is having the beard. Sometimes it matches their personality. Sometimes it doesn't. So
Mhm.
I think that looks good on you.
Just
Uh,
say,
so
say some Tagalog words so that they won't doubt you.
uh, do you know some Tagalog words?
Yeah, I do. I can understand perfectly, but my speaking is very bad. I'm
Uh,
I'm one I'm very bad at I think I'm very bad at languages in general.
Mm.
And yeah, I'm horrible at at languages.
Uh, um, yes.
Because
So
the name alone, it doesn't sound Filipino.
yeah, yeah, the name.
I
Yeah,
haven't heard any Filipino with that name.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
but you are right. I was named after Bjorn Borg. So uh, yeah, so for those of you who are tennis fans,
Yes.
Bjorn Borg for sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know him very well. I think I'm much older than him. Could be. The
so
Makain.
so were you originally from the States or another country?
Yeah, so I actually was born in Connecticut. I
Mm-hmm.
grew up in Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
um, and also spent some time in Connecticut as well in my early adulthood. Um, but moved permanently back to the Philippines to start a different business before in the mid 2000s, and have been here ever since.
Mm. Okay. Yeah.
Together with your family.
Yeah, we have definitely settled down here.
Family.
um, and we do go back and forth sometimes.
Mm.
um, but we're definitely staying here for the foreseeable future.
Mm. So your parents are here, still here in the States.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Okay. Yeah.
I learned that you're holding office in Annapolis in Green Hills, San Juan.
Yeah, we I mean, it's something that we uh it's a when you hear of offices in the Philippines, a lot of times you hear BGC and these types of places. But again, our number one priority is providing um top quality healthcare. And you can, especially that we're focusing on the telemedicine aspect. um we want to make sure that we funnel all of our resources towards that. And so we just want to make sure that we're in a very accessible location. Our office is actually um, right along EDSA. For those of you who are
Mm.
familiar with the common streets in the Philippines, right along EDSA. So we're walking distance from the MRT station. So anyone who works for us can easily get to our office without the hassle of having to take multiple rides and all that.
Yes. Uh, I'm very familiar with that area, Ortigas Avenue, Annapolis, and then at the end of Annapolis, you hit the Green Hills Commercial Center. I used to
Hmm.
work there, but that
Okay.
was 50 years ago, in the
uh,
70s.
but things has changed a lot, Larry.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, everybody gets old.
Yeah.
I'm just reminiscing my past there when I was much younger, still single, having a good time in the Green Hills area,
Yeah.
having some happenings.
Yeah. So I'll go back to the training that you mentioned a while ago. Would the basic training to become an affiliate, can they watch that training course online?
Yes, they can.
Mm.
Everything can be completed online.
Mm.
We do have videos and materials, and then at the end, there is a test that you have to where you have to get a perfect on. It's very important for us to make sure that
Mm.
you know the product like the back of your hand, because
Oh,
one small um, misunderstanding could change the the understanding of any prospective member of ours, and we want to make sure that none of our members are misinformed or um, confused about any one of our benefits. So um, we take it very seriously, but everything can be done online from anywhere in the world.
Okay.
I haven't passed the training, Tony, because I haven't. I failed. I can't do 100% yet. I need more training.
Okay, there's one question here coming from Oscar Dames Manansala, and let me add that to the screen. Um, he's asking, can the company financially meet the medical benefits of those insured?
Yes. I mean, I think we when it comes to hospitalization coverage, we are partnered with health insurance companies who bear the risk.
Mhm.
So because of how we're structured, in that we serve as a filter to hospitalization. So the benefits that I mentioned earlier, like telemedicine, like the free outpatient medicine, because of these filters that we have, the health insurance companies do offer us really great and customized rates. Um, and because of that, we're able to keep people out of the hospital.
Mhm.
So it's a really great relationship that we have with the medical insurance companies that we're partnered with.
Mhm.
Um, so when it comes to the benefits that are going to be consumed by any of one of our members, there's no worries. We're partnered with multiple health insurance and HMO companies um, that have been around for 20, 30 years. So there are no worries.
Okay. And I forgot to ask, is there a cap? Um, of course, maybe
Limit.
it would be different from different policies, but what would be the basic cap that a patient would have when uh, a patient enrolls with your program?
Yeah. So at the bare minimum, our plans start at a 60,000 peso cap,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that normally would cover um, any type of inpatient hospitalization, very common inpatient hospitalization emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
um, so that's it may not sound like enough for those of you who are in the US, where maybe healthcare is a little bit more expensive, but that should cover an inpatient confinement, no problem. But in addition to the hospitalization coverage, um, we do have unlimited 24/7 telemedicine, which which we don't assign a value to in terms of how much you can consume, because it's unlimited. But that's also something that we're doing for all of our members, that we don't necessarily quantify in terms of a benefit limit. It's unlimited.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we should remind our listeners and some of the your maybe prospective policy holders that um, prevention is better than um, uh, because I remember a friend who is insured, but, but you know he felt something before he was diagnosed with cancer, and he was telling us, you know what, guys, I would share this, and since you have insurance, use it. If you feel something wrong, go to your doctor, ask your doctor, because the earlier you the diagnosis is determined, the lesser, effect uh, that your body would suffer from. So I think preventive medicine is very, very important. Here in the States, they really, you know that because you are from the States before, they put so much emphasis on preventive medicine because it's so hard once the real, the real thing hits you, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's very hard to recover from the sickness.
Yeah.
So Bjorn, you have several plans that meets the requirement of these patients, or we call that annual benefit limit.
Yeah, we do have multiple plans with many different uh, uh, limits, and I think we we did a lot of research in terms of the most common emergencies, the cost of these types of emergencies, and all of our plans are are comprehensive, and have high enough limits where they will be useful in the time of need. Um, but like, as you mentioned, preventive is the best, is the best solution. So we also are investing our a lot of our time and resources in how we can um, improve the preventive aspect. From telemedicine is definitely what we're doing now. um, and in the I have a very heavily tech background. I've started different tech companies in the past, and something that we're doing, and focusing on this year also is how we can integrate our services with different health apps. Many people have an Apple Watch or some sort of health tracker on their wrist these
Mm-hmm.
days, which does a lot in terms of your measuring your health, your sleep, even. So if we can gain access to this information, we can also better help uh, all of our members by even being more proactive and trying to catch
Mm-hmm.
something before they even know that they're sick. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
a big focus of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Preventive is really very important, but most people maybe needs to be educated about it, so that they will learn that, oh, this is the most important they should do, prevention, and even just the telemedicine doctors can advise them about prevention, so that the illness doesn't get worse. Most of the time, it goes to that to that end. They go to doctor hospital when the illness is already worse.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's very sad. There's another one. There's a question there, Tony.
Yeah. Rico Flores, can I now retire in the Philippines not to worry maybe about my medical bills?
Yeah, I mean, I think, because we're trying to extend our coverage, to not just age, but anywhere in the Philippines you may want to retire to. um you know we definitely, I would be confident in saying that we can definitely have you covered 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because that's the number one concern of senior citizens wanting to retire in the Philippines about their health care. But
Yeah.
there will be somebody like your company who can provide that. Well, maybe a lot will retire in the country because most of us want to retire there. Our only concern is the healthcare.
Yeah.
You have the solutions? Well,
I know there's an insurance company that covers most of the seniors there, the PhilHealth. Um, uh, would you say that you can complement the with your services? You will be able to complement some of the things that they will not be able to provide.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, I think we definitely are a very, very, very useful complement to PhilHealth. Um, but even those with top tier health insurance plans, we do also complement those well as well, because as I mentioned earlier, some of the top healthcare companies, um, don't have the benefits that we have, 24/7 telemedicine, especially the outpatient medicine. So we serve as a really great complement to any type of existing healthcare coverage that anyone may have.
Mhm. Okay. So I think we have 3 more minutes before our program ends. And Larry, do you have any other questions?
Well,
I
right
think Larry.
now,
I think Larry has a list of questions.
but I already asked some of them.
Uh-huh.
For example, that we wanted to. There's really a lot of people here who want to retire. Of course, you want to retire to your home country, be comfortable there, enjoy the environment. But that's really the number one concern, the healthcare. Uh, because people have been comparing healthcare years against back in the home country. It's totally different. But if Bjorn can provide that, why not? we will we will encourage people now. You can now go and retire in the Philippines. Bjorn will take care of you. Well, that's nice to know. That's very important. Subject to know that you can take care of those who want to retire back home. That's a very very big encouragement to Filipinos. Go back home and retire here. We'll
Yeah.
take care of you.
Yeah. You know, not even here in the states. Even when you are covered by an insurance company, uh, not a single insurance company is perfect. But having something that you can rely on, even not completely rely on, but if you have something to back you up when the time comes that you're in need of good health service, then I think this is an affordable policy that you can get. And I there are two questions that appeared maybe before we go. I think
Mhm.
it came from my twin brother Rico, but I think John has answered that. We go to Elizabeth Mapote. Good to know that medical is not a problem when we retire and stay in the Philippines. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's good to know. Really, that's good to know. Okay, so I'll give the last minute to you, Ijarn, and maybe uh, say something or invite our listeners uh, to be a part of your um, your business, especially being an affiliate.
Yes. So once again, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'd like to invite everyone, all listeners, to check out our website. It's novahealth.ph. Whether you want to, buy a health plan for yourself or your loved ones, and also if you're interested in, um, earning some money on the side, you can refer any one of your family's friends, anyone, it may be even a company, to us, and you can earn some money. And it's very easy. All training can be done online, and we've already enrolled about 800 affiliates from all over the world, um, and that's just scratching the surface in terms of what we need. So there's 120 million Filipinos out there, and the vast majority are underinsured or uninsured. So um, there's a huge opportunity, and I hope many of you can join us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. I posted the website, and to all our listeners and friends, if you miss this live broadcast, it will stay on our Facebook page at Radio Filipino, and also on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it even uh, not live, but you can get a lot of pointers, and some of your questions will be answered by watching it again. Okay, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we'll see you the next broadcast. And I hope, John, this will not be the last time. Maybe second time around, maybe you can also bring your wife to answer some of the questions.
Definitely, definitely.
Thank you so much for your time, Bjorn.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Nice to have
Good
you
night,
here
everyone.
with us.